Hello students, I'm back with you with my second part from the diversity in living organisms. In the first part of the chapter, I have already given the introduction of the chapter, then basis of the classification of the organisms, then difference between classification and evolution, then what is hierarchy of classification, two kingdom classification, five kingdom classification I have told you. Then I have given the difference between kingdom Monera, kingdom Protist, kingdom Plantae and Animalia. These topics were covered in our first part of the chapter. I hope you all have gone through your NCERT book and you have read the chapter and you might have tried to understand them. See children, diversity chapter need again and again reading, again and again self-study. Otherwise, this chapter might create problem to you because the terminology and the theory part is to be done by you itself. We can teach you, but remembering and learning process is to be done by you. We are always there for you. Again and again we'll explain you. But you have to help yourself. You have to read those topics. You have to underline those important terminologies. Now today I am here with the topic of diversity in living organism part 2. From this we'll be going through kingdom Plantae or plant kingdom. Now we all know plant kingdom includes small plants to big tall trees. Small plants which are not at all divisible, you cannot even find out the root, you cannot even find out the stem of those plants. And at the same time, if you look to the pine trees which are present in the hilly stations, they are so much taller to us that we can extend our head and we can look to them. So this helps us to understand that kingdom Plantae includes different varieties of the plant. Now coming to the introduction of kingdom Plantae. As the name suggests, Plantae, we all are aware that this kingdom includes all the plants of the earth. Now these plants are multicellular, different cells are present. Definitely different cells are present. That is why they are able to perform vascular system function, that the use of xylem and phloem they are able to do. They are able to photosynthesis. They are able to pull the water. They are able to form their food. Next, they are eukaryotes, recently formed. They consist of a rigid structure or a rigid cell wall which helps them to remain erect in a horrible condition in a stormy weather. Then they have a colored pigment called chlorophyll which help them to form a green color pigment which help them to perform photosynthesis. Coming to the characteristics of plant kingdom. Now, plant kingdom, they are non-motile. Definitely plants cannot move. Imagine if plants are moving, then if they are moving, we are moving, तो क्या condition होगी? Either they'll be able to move or either we can able to move. Once close your eyes and imagine that plants are moving around you. Next is they reproduce sexually. Some of them produce asexually also. Then their mode of nutrition is autotrophic, perform their photosynthesis and form their own food. They are multicellular in nature, having cell walls and vacuoles, contain chlorophyll which help them to perform photosynthesis. This chlorophyll is present in the plastids, a part which is present in the leaves. Then different cell organelles are there which help them to perform anchorage, reproduction, support system and photosynthesis. Coming to the classification. Now classification of kingdom Plantae is based upon these few points: plant body, vascular system and seed formation. Now plant body, whether the body has well defined structures or not, whether they are having a well developed vascular system for transportation of food and water or not, seed formation, whether the plants bear flowers and seeds or not, whether it is having closed fruit, which that is seeds are covered with the fruit or not. This type of classification helps them. Now considering all these facts, the plant kingdom is classified under subgroup, that is cryptogam and phanerogam. Cryptogam, that is thallophyte, bryophyte and pteridophyte. Thallophyte are again classified as algae, fungi and lichen. Now fungi, lichen, these are also the pronunciations. Calling them whatever you want will be correct. Coming to phanerogames, they include gymnosperm and angiosperm. Now, angiosperm includes monocot and dicot on the basis of the seeds. Now, coming to cryptogams and phanerogames. Now, plant kingdom is basically divided into two groups on the basis of the seed formation ability. Cryptogams, which do not have well developed and conspicuous reproductive system, they have hidden reproductive system and does not produce seeds. At the same time, they are thallophytes and bryophytes and pteridophytes, which are not able to form seeds, but the reproduction process in these three groups is carried out through the spore formation. Coming to phanerogames. Now, plants belonging to these groups have conspicuous reproductive system and produce seeds. Gymnosperm and angiosperm belong to this group where the seed formation is taking place. Coming to thallophytes. Now, all the plants that lack a well-defined body structure belong to this group. They include primitive and simple body designs such as algae and green algae and brown algae. The majority of them are aquatic in nature. They are present in water and they are plants of this group are commonly known as algae. The common examples of this is Spirogera, Eleutheryx, Cladophora and Cara or Chara. This is the structure of thallophyte. You cannot even differentiate between the body. No branches, stem, nodes are not there. Coming to bryophytes. Now bryophytes have differentiated plant body like structure like stem, leaf are clearly present in them. They lack vascular system. That means the transportation of substance in the plant body does not take place through a well developed system. They are found in both land and water. That is why they are known as amphibians of plant kingdom. You need to remember this. Bryophytes are known as the amphibians of plant kingdom. The example includes mosses and mercantia, Rica and Funaria also. These are the bryophytes. Coming to pteridophyte. Now pteridophytes have well differentiated structure where stem, root, leaves are well defined. Even the vascular system is also present. The example for them includes horsetail, marsilia. These are the best example. Even fern are the example. The diagram of fern is visible to you. Now coming to the difference between these three groups, thallophyte, bryophyte and pteridophyte on the basis of habitat, body structure, true root, stem, leaf, vascular system and six organs or the reproductive organs. Now if we talk about the habitat, so thallophytes are mostly aquatic, bryophytes are terrestrial and pteridophytes are terrestrial present in the shady places. Body structure of thallophyte is undivided. Bryophyte is flat green thallus or leaf is present. Pteridophyte plant body is erect and rigid in nature. If we talk about true roots, stem and leaves, so in thallophyte these things are absent. Even in bryophytes also absent. In pteridophyte, roots, stems and leaves are present. Coming to the vascular system. Thallophyte does not have vascular system. Bryophyte also lack the vascular system, but pteridophytes have. Reproductive organs, thallophyte is single celled, so not present. Spore formation is there. Bryophytes are multicellular and pteridophytes are multicellular. So they have a well defined, pteridophytes have a well defined reproductive structure. Coming to the difference between angiosperms and gymnosperms. Now angiosperm and gymnosperm are the part of phanerogames. Angiosperm and are the seed producing flowering plants whose seeds are enclosed within an ovary. Then gymnosperms are the seed producing non-flowering plants whose seeds are naked and not enclosed. In angiosperm, seeds are enclosed in ovary, usually in a fruit, that mango. In gymnosperm, bear, not enclosed, found on scale, leaves or as a cone. Pine cone is the example. Life cycle of angiosperm is seasonal. Gymnosperms are evergreen. Tissues in the angiosperm are diploid. triploid, that means coating angiosperms are producing triple fused form structure, and in gymnosperm is haploid, that is before fertilization endosperm is formed. Reproductive system in angiosperm present in flowers and can be unisexual or bisexual. Reproductive system in gymnosperm, that is cone and unisexual. The leaves of angiosperms are flat, and while of the gymnosperm is scaly needle like. If we talk about cotyledons, cotyledon means जो सीड होती है, बीज जो होता है, तो वो एक सिंगल फॉर्म में है या दो बीज से मिलके बना है. जैसे आम की गुठली एक सिंगल फॉर्म होता है, जामुन की गुठली सीड सिंगल फॉर्म, एंड एट द सेम प्लेस चना दो गुठलियों से बना होता है, राजमा किडनी बीन विच इज फॉर्म्ड ऑफ टू सीड्स. सो सिंगल कॉट मोनोकॉट means single form and dicot means that rajma and chana two form. So in gymnosperm cotyledons present in the single form or in a paired form, but in gymnosperm cotyledons are absent. Then angiosperms wood is hard, gymnosperm wood is soft. Perinatal, they are non-perinatal, they are perennial. Now perennial and non-perennial depending upon कितने टाइम तक की उनकी लाइफ साइकिल है. Angiosperm belong to kingdom Plantae, gymno also Plantae. Their domain of angiosperm is eukarya and gymnosperm is eukarya. Reproduction mostly rare on rely on animals. Gymnosperm mostly rely on wind. Now uses of angiosperm: medication, food formation, clothing, many things. For gymnosperm it is paper and lumber or timber. These are the angiospermic plants and these are the gymnospermic plants. In angiospermic plant, you can even write the names of our day-to-day plants which you see. Now there is one activity in which you can see the difference. Activity 7.2 from page number 88, in which what you have to do, you have to soak green gram, wheat, maize, peanut and tamarind. When they are tender, you have to try to split the seeds. The seeds that do sorry uh, the seeds which are having dicots will get split, that is green gram will split, pea will split, but wheat, maize and tamarind will not split. This will help you to understand that which are monocot and which are dicot one. Now then you have to take a look at the roots, leaves and flowers of these plants. The type of root is whether taproot or a fibrous root, and whether the venation, that is leaf का जो structure है वो parallel है या reticulate है. That helps you to understand about the plant structure. Now if we talk about roots, the wheat, maize and green gram, they have fibrous root, where peas and tamarind have taproot. Then parallel and reticulate venation, that you have to check on your home as a homework. Next, if we talk about kingdom Animalia, now we all know that Animalia kingdom is the largest kingdom of all the kingdoms, which includes so many organisms including the humans. Now kingdom Animalia is composed of all the animals. It is the largest kingdom among all the 5 kingdoms. This I have already told you. Characteristics of kingdom Animalia. Now kingdom Animalia is made up of eukaryotic multicellular heterotrophic organism. Multicellular है, heterotrophic है, that means mode of nutrition can be holozoic, saprophytic. Then coming to the mode of nutrition, holozoic, they are either herbivore or carnivore in nature, that means depend only on plants or depend upon only on animals or on both. Their body symmetry is bilateral symmetry. उनका बॉडी जो है वो दो पार्ट से, मतलब आगे पीछे के पार्ट से बना है. जैसे हमारा फ्रंट पार्ट बैक पार्ट है, साइड पार्ट है, like that. Then locomotion. Now most of the animals are motile, we all know. They move independently in search of food, shelter and for reproduction. Then organization. Body organization is organ system based, perform special function which are necessary for the survival of the organism. This mode of organization, that is organ based या tissue based organization, help them to survive properly. Next comes the different phylums of the kingdom Animalia. Now, kingdom Animalia includes 10 phylums. Phylum Porifera, phylum Coelenterata or Synetria, phylum Platyhelminthes, phylum Nematode, phylum Annelida, phylum Arthropoda, phylum Molluscus, phylum Echinodermata, phylum Hemichordate, and phylum Chordate. Now, these are the typical type of names with the typical pronunciation. For the pronunciation, you have to repeat them again and again, and more than pronunciation, you need to focus on the spelling, because when you understand the spelling, then pronunciation will be clear to you. Break the word and then read, that will be easier for you to understand. Again and again pronounce it, again and again. Just repeat those things in front of your parents or brother sister. I know nobody will laugh at you, because parents will love that their children are studying and they are asking for their help. I know that might sound a little weird that you are sharing these plant kingdom and animal kingdom names with them, but that will help you to remember and learn these names. That is the easiest pattern. Somewhere in our childhood time, we also did this, and our parents used to enjoy. I know your parents will also enjoy this. Now, this was about your chapter. Remaining topics will be there in our next slide. As I've completed plant kingdom in this, I would ask you all to please go through these things through your NCERT book. If you're not having book with you, you can download from on your mobile phone, on your laptops, and you can read through them. It's okay if you're not having a book with you, but you can study from somewhere, and you need to study, because study is important. Don't take it for granted. It's about your future. A single year you have to devote. You know, sitting at home, sitting in your coolers, ACs, getting everything cooked by mama, papa, getting all the things, only you have to study. What else you have to do? So you can do. Trust yourself, do little hard work with yourself, do exercises, yogas, and then you will become fresh. And I know you all can study. Till then, take care. This is your teacher saying bye bye.